Hey guys, so as you can see, the game I'm going to be reviewing today is UFC Undisputed 2009. I got the Xbox 360 version. This is one of my most anticipated games this year, actually. I couldn't wait for this to come out, so let's just jump right into it. Okay, so with no real story mode to the game, I'll just go right into the gameplay, and I'll start with the career mode. Basically, you create your fighter from scratch. You pick his style, you pick his weight class, you pick everything. It's just like in a wrestling game. But then you get assigned. You pick who you want to fight for. You start off on fight night. You don't go right into the pay-per-views, and you have to pick. You have to set your schedule of how you're going to be training, resting, what you're going to be working on going to the fight. It's not too in-depth, but basically you have to keep your stamina pretty high while training. So you have to figure out when you're going to be training and when you're going to be resting. So it takes some strategy to get used to. I just wish that there was, a little more depth to it, or at least something I can watch myself being getting trained or something to make it more to make it just feel realer. More real, I should say. Okay, so for the actual gameplay of the game, it's pretty awesome. There's the different styles. Some people have said they're not that different. And I guess I can maybe agree. But the fighting is done with the four face buttons. X and Y are punches, A and B are kicks. And you use the triggers and shoulder buttons to where you want to land them, what kind of punches they are. You use the right stick for submissions and counters and grapples and clinches, and it works really well. There's a ton of combos in this game. I mean, the game is so deep. On the surface it may not look that deep, but trust me, it's very, very deep. It's the ground attack. You have ground attacks, you have standings, stand up attacks. There's so much stuff. There's counters. There's just all the submissions. It's very deep. It's a blast to play. Just to sit back and just fight. You really get into it, which is really good. You really there's been times where I've jumped up because I won, because you just get so into it. It's I don't know. I wouldn't say it probably makes you feel like you are a UFC fighter or an MMA fighter, just because you're not getting punched in the face and stuff, but it really does a good job of capturing the feel of watching, or at least watching a fight. It goes back and forth. Any punch can just end it. Knocking somebody out is just so much fun. There, I'm trying to get a submission going. It feels very real, and for the first game out of the gate for THQ, I think they did a great job with the fighting mechanics. Okay, so as I said, the game really makes you feel like you're watching a UFC match, either on pay-per-view or on fight night or whatever. It does, it looks exactly like a T. I'm not saying the graphics look just like it, but how it's presented, everything just looks very real. It's just awesome. It's cool. It's really cool to watch, especially if you're a UFC fan, like I am. I do wish that the celebrations after the matches were a little bit better, because if after a guy knocks somebody out, they're pumped and they're running around the octagon. But in this, they really just don't do that, and I wish they did. The animations are really good, and I like that they have the announcers. They have Bruce Buffer. They have all the referees. They have the ring girls. So again, it makes you really feel like you're watching a UFC fight. Each fighter, these guys are not, some of them are wrestlers, but each fighter looks very realistic. It's got all the logos on the inside of the octagon and stuff. It does a great job of making the game very realistic in its presentation. I think one of the coolest parts is the in between rounds, they show the guys walk off, they have cuts on their faces, they're sweaty. Another cool thing is when you punch somebody and you hit them hard, you'll see the blood fly out and fall onto the mat, and the blood will stay there the entire match, which is awesome because it sucks when, you know, in the round before that, you know, it's cool to see the destruction you've done, you know, the violence in this, because it's a very violent game, it's a very violent sport, and it, you know, should, you know, the match should reflect how violent it is, so it's really cool. But yeah, so presentation is awesome, especially for the first game right out of the gate by THQ. Okay, so after everything I've praised about the game, is it fun? There's some little gripes I have with it. One big gripe, the big gripe being that you know, so far I've heard from a lot of people the online is extremely laggy, and THQ has to change this. The online is cool because it keeps track of your fights and stuff, and you know, it's just like you're a real fighter online. But I mean, it was so laggy, it was just terrible, and that has to change because that's a huge reason why a lot of people are going to be buying this game. It's a fighting game, so it has to be fluent. Also, again, like I said, they have to. I mean, they really can't go back and change this, but I really wish that they made the celebrations a little more realistic. Also, sometimes it's really hard to take a guy down, which I know is, you know, probably how it is in real life. But I mean, sometimes it's just like impossible to get a guy down. But you know, I really guess I can't complain about that. But that's just my personal thing. Sometimes it's like, why can't I take you down? I've taken you down before, but now it's not working. That's just my little opinion. But that's not a bad thing. It's just like, I guess it's just me being frustrated. But all in all, I think for the first, you know, real UFC game, yeah, there was a few a couple years ago, but those were just like arcade fighters. This one is very realistic. I hope that this is going to be a every year series because it'll be awesome. So all in all, they have to fix the online. So I'm gonna lose major points, especially for a fighter. You want to be able to fight other people. So all in all, at the end of the day, I give UFC Undisputed an 8.5 out of 10. I think some stuff can be improved, but again, the online took major hits off my score. Hopefully they fix it though. So 8.5 out of 10. I'll see you guys later.